Welcome to the first episode of Real Estate with Rich while driving. So, I wanted to start these chronicles of when I'm driving because I feel like I have some great thoughts about real estate and the process. And what better to do while you're driving than to talk real estate? So, today's tip is going to be talking about what's going on in the market right now. So over the last year, rates have gone up dramatically, right? They hit an all-time high of, 8 point something. So they were pretty high up there, right? That being said, over the last month, so in the month of December, rates have already dropped about a point and a half. So we see a lot of interest rates you can get into the mid to high sixes. And if you're going with a new build, I see rates as low as 5.625, right? And that's paid for by the builder. So if you are a buyer in this market, what does that mean to you? Well, typically over the lifetime of buying a home or the lifetime of interest rates, we've seen from 1980, the average rate is about 7.9. So if you went into a new build today, you can probably get somewhere in the high fives to mid fives, meaning you'll be 2.5 points under what the 40-year average is right now. And you're probably asking, like, how does that benefit me? Well, you're going to be walking in with a great rate. A lot of the people that I got into homes this year, unfortunately, they had to buy with a higher rate because that's just what the market called for. But that being said, now that rates are coming down, they can refinance, right? So let's play the question. If I was a buyer in today's market, would I go resale or would I go new construction? And the answer is overwhelmingly, I would go new construction, right? Obviously, it depends on what your situation is, but if you can afford to go new construction, if you're anywhere in the 450s to maybe 600K range, going new construction makes way more sense. And why? Because there's the competition isn't there yet, right? There's always a delay in the market from when rates drop or big things happen. So we've seen rates drop a point and a half. Builders haven't responded yet in reducing their concessions and reducing the incentives. So they still have their incentives out there. So you can go into a new build, get all your closing costs paid for. Some of them are throwing in appliances. A lot of them are buying down your rate. So versus a resale, these are things that obviously we can still negotiate for them, but they're not often promised. So, but with a new build, a lot of these builders, I'm able to help you get in there. With a KB home, I did it twice already. I got my buyers appliances plus the rate got bought down. Basically, their lot premium was free, and all their closing costs were paid for. So I've done that with them. I know there's a fantastic Century community in the Northwest where they're throwing in all the appliances, bringing your rate down, and paying for all your closing costs. And there's just countless other builders doing it right now. How long is it going to last? To be honest, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't want to put a prediction around it, but if I had to make an educated guess, just based off how things are going, right? Um, I know that Christmas is coming, New Year's is coming, so taxes are next year. Rates are already down, and as buyers start to react to the market, they're going to see. Like I actually put in 2 offers this last weekend, and actually we were looking at 4 homes, and 2 of them got taken by the end of the day before we even got to put an offer, and the other 2 had multiple offers on them. So it's just a matter of time before builders pull back on their incentives, and resale homes also do the same thing. So I think that you have a good gap between now till maybe the end of January before things really get heated up. Because here in Vegas, we have limited inventory, right? When I looked at the market report for November, we had basically half of what the inventory was last year. So year over year, our inventory was cut in half. So just imagine as rates are coming down, yeah, we're going to add more inventory because there's going to be more sellers getting into the market, but there's also going to be more buyers. So either way, we're still going to be low. So that's why I say right now you have a probably a 30-day window from today, 30 to 60-day window before things get really, really competitive and things get crazy, right? Obviously, things are subject to change. Do your own research, but that's just what I see. That being said, if you are on the fence, right? Let's say that your rent is coming due in the next few months. So if your lease is coming due in the next 90 days, 90 to 120 days, I would definitely recommend like let's get out there, let's look at some of these new builds and look at the incentives because these incentives are not going to last forever, and you're not going to be able to take advantage of them as much as you could today, right? Because in the next few months, I think that things are going to change and it's going to become a lot tighter. Because if you think about it like this, right? Here's the numbers, okay? A lot of people from California move out here. So the California population is, what, 50 million? Let's just say that 1% of California leaves, right? What are we talking about? Or actually, let's say that, yeah, 1% leaves. So what is 1% of 50 million? It's 500,000, right? Let's just say that we get 20% of that, which maybe we get a little bit more, but 20%, that's 100,000 people. We're not building 100,000 homes every single year. We're not, right? At the most, we're having what 40 to 50,000 transactions happen in Vegas, or in the Vegas area, Clark County area. So you can imagine why it's going to stay competitive, right? That's not even counting all the buyers from the Northeast, the Northwest, and then obviously the people here. So it's going to keep going up because of the addition to remote work. There's a lot of people who move here with remote work. There's people who buy vacation homes here, second homes. So that's just what the Vegas market is, right? And comment down below if you don't agree with me. Let me know your thoughts. I'm never set on an ideal. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's just what I believe, right? I think that's the numbers, and it's gonna be competitive for years to come. Plus, we have the train that's gonna connect us. And I know they've been talking about this for a long time, but they have the train that's gonna connect us to the Inland Empire, to Victorville, to deeper in LA. So imagine when that happens. 45 minutes to LA, you're gonna have people that will literally commute back and forth because that's a shorter drive than, let's say, Barstow to the Inland Empire, or Victorville to LA, right? It takes like a freaking hour and a half. Some people are even commuting even longer than that, that live out there. So why wouldn't they want to live in Vegas where it's cheaper? So that's what I have to say. Um, what else did I want to add into my thoughts about the market? I think that when rates hit around 6, like where the base rate is 6%, I think we see a lot more of the people who bought, in the last few years. I think they come back to the market because I think that they can get a more digestible rate. Um, right now, those sellers that would traditionally move up after owning a home for a few years, they're kind of holding on, right? Some of them are going to become accidental landlords, and some of them will be like, all right, well, I can digest, a 2% increase, or, a 3% increase. So I think things get really crazy if that happens. And with 2024 being an election year, I see a lot of things happening. So let me know your thoughts below. What do you think is going to happen? I know the crash bros are super mad. They've been, saying that there's Airbnb going to hit the market. This is going to be '08. Well, we don't have stated income, right? Yeah, do we have the $1 trillion in debt and credit cards? Yeah, we do. But that being said, what's our dollar worth? What's the US dollar worth? We printed what? Is it 60 or 80%? I've seen different numbers. So even if we only printed 60% of the US dollar, right, in the last 3 years, what does that do to the US dollar's actual value? It brings it down a lot. It really does. It brings it down tremendously. So I think the new, like what we saw being 150 or 200,000 was the average, I think it doubles it, like bare minimum. So I think the new normal is 350, 400K, right? I think that's the new normal for what a house is going to be, because our dollar has devalued so much. Because when you have so many dollars, right, supply and demand, it takes more dollars to buy the same item when there's more dollars floating around in the economy. And I don't see us burning those up, especially how much money we're sending outside of the country. We're printing way too much money. So that's just what I think about the economy and the market, right? Do your own research. I'm not a genie or a magician, so these are just some of my thoughts. But yeah, if I was a buyer, or if I was in the market, maybe considering to be in the market in the next 6 months, I would consider moving up that time frame, because of the incentives, because you'll be able to lock in a rate below 6%, get all your closing costs covered, also get appliances. There's quick move in options, and then there's also options where you can close, you know, somewhere in the summer. But you want to lock in these incentives before the market gets crazy and we get back to the lottery system, right? And do I think we'll get back to the lottery system? I think we're going to be on the edge of it. I know that DR Horton, there's a lot of waiting lists for some of their developments, so I don't think we're too far away from it. So, anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed my first driving with Rich vlog. So, have any comments or questions, definitely let me know. And the next time I go on a ride, I will definitely answer your questions. Until next time, see you again.